Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would sit down, do a video for you guys and gals. Sip my water, get my radio voice going. Let's talk about this. All right. I had people say, hey Jason, are you still promoting bro diets? Do you still think that they are probably the best and easiest way for people to get lean and fix their body composition? The answer is yes. Just because I'm doing mostly whole foods plant-based doesn't change any of that. All right? I'm going to go into a minute what I mean by bro dieting. But why would it change that? You can literally just change your chicken and your fish to tofu. Done. That's it. You still eat a bro diet just fine. All right, so this is time proven, okay? All the research has confirmed this for years and years and years. In fact, I kind of said that in the food pyramid video. Really, traditional bodybuilding diets look a lot like that food pyramid, didn't they? When you accept that the tip of the pyramid gets cut off, you just chop the tip of the pyramid off because that's where most of the obesity is coming from, right? You just chop off the tip of the pyramid, the thing that you're supposed to use sparingly. If you take that to zero, I want to be clear. You take that to zero, obesity would disappear. It wouldn't be really a thing. I mean, yeah, fattier meats and stuff could make some people more obese, but you get rid of the added fats, you get rid of the refined sugars, the sweets. Means all the butter, oils, table sugar go away. There wouldn't be fat people anywhere. It wouldn't happen. It would be very rare. Let's put it that way. All right, so bro diets, what does that really mean? People think of chicken, rice, broccoli. That is one example of a meal that you might eat on a bro diet, but the idea is the same. Most of your calories, and this is where you lever your calorie intake, will usually come from a starchy carb. Now there's some flexibility with fruits there. You're usually eating vegetables. Okay, so rice, broccoli, and then chicken. All right. What do we have? Carb priority. Every expert agrees this is how athletes should be eating. It's not a controversial statement. It is only produced, a few thousand gold medalists in the Olympics and Super Bowl winners and multi-million-dollar athletes who have six packs. So, it's only slightly successful. The leanest, fittest people on the face of the earth, 95% of them eat in this manner. Anyone who cares to object to that, we can ignore you. You're just flat wrong. The evidence is self-evident. You can look at it every day. Leanest, fittest people on the face of the earth eat this way. It's usually carb first, then protein, then fats. If you really care, you make sure the fats are healthy fats. So what are we usually seeing traditional bro diets? Well, for people who do a little more plant-based, you would see things like tofu or whatever in there. But that aside, it's historically oftentimes been lean animal proteins. Chicken, really lean steak, fish. Fish is big on there for a lot of people. In the omega-3s, we're going back over to healthy fats. But usually starchy carbs. Vegetables, fruit. So what were people eating? Like, what is a bro diet normally? You track most of your carbs as your main calories because you're eating really low fat anyways. It's usually not that big of your calorie source, and you will stay leaner that way. Again, evidence in the epidemiology in the metabolic ward. Humans don't store carbohydrates to a meaningful degree as body fat. It's usually just fat you're eating. So if the fat's really low, it's hard to gain much fat. If you're training and active, it's even harder. You tend to gain mostly lean muscle tissue when you're gaining weight. Not always exclusively, but mostly. So, what do we mean by starchy carbs? Rice. It's always been a traditional one. Doesn't have to be rice, it could be quinoa. It could be a lot of people pasta. A lot of people do pastas on this. People say, oh, those are refined grains. It doesn't matter. They're not refined enough to be a big deal. Again, people need to understand that these things are not correlated with obesity or diabetes. They're not. They're just not. The evidence isn't there. It's make believe. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, those are always big traditional ones. Oats, right? Starchy carbs. They're generally, historically, the fuel source of most of your best really lean athletes. They just simply are starchy carbohydrates. Vegetable doesn't have to be just broccoli, be a plethora of vegetables. You can interchange vegetables and the starchy carbs a bit with fruits to some extent. Many people have traditionally done that on these sort of diets. But you come back over, what are then the protein sources? It's all lean proteins. Fat-free or low-fat dairy, really lean meats, sometimes egg whites. This is bro dieting. It's clean carbs, clean meaning not a bunch of added sugar, okay? White rice is still clean. In fact, look around the world. This has been a conundrum for some people forever with the insulin obesity hypothesis. They're like, oh, we think the insulin could be a situation, but the cultures that eat the most rice have extremely low obesity rates. Well, when you go look at the metabolic word, you understand why. Because this is not what makes people fat. It's calorie surplus and dietary fat. There's your big combination. Because people say, well, calorie surplus, yeah, but if the fat is really low and you're active, you don't really get a calorie surplus that easily from carbs. Your energy turnover starts going up. Okay, so when people talk about calories in, calories out, they're like, oh, it's a flawed model. No, it's not flawed in any way. Just remember your calories out is affected by what you eat. Okay, your calories in is a certain amount of energy, but your output is affected by specifically what you eat. And it has direct impact on thermic effect, NEAT, everything. So again, we come back over to this. It works very well. This sort of diet tends to be very anabolic and recovery oriented for muscle tissue. Great for training fuel. Very, very easy on fat gain. So again, easy meaning minimal fat gain. Time proven effective. Some people will sometimes add some healthier fats in, whether it's PUFAs, because we know that can be beneficial too. But I would point out again, there's where your tofu would help. That's a perfect example. Perfect example. But this is bro eating, and it works. And it works irrespective of what you think about it, whether you enjoy this sort of eating. And I would remind people there's a lot of flexibility to make these sort of things taste good. Okay. But this is proven effective. We know it works based upon the evidence. We know that it works based upon the metabolic word, works based on epidemiology, and we know that it has produced the most impressive, leanest, most muscular physiques, the majority of them across the face of the earth. Problem is, it's hard to sell a gimmick around it. And that's what all the fad diets are about. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.